Hi, I'm George Dorunda here with my associate producer Mark, and what a great primetime program.
Excuse me, George. Who are you talking to?
What? Huh?
Who are you talking to?
Who am I talking to? Why, Mr. and Mrs. Chiquette.
Yeah, but they're not home tonight.
They're not at home tonight?
No.
You mean nobody's watching?
Nobody's watching.
Nobody at all?
Nobody.
Well then let's just roll the regular opening and hurry up so we can get out of here. Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime, and what a power-packed show we have for you today. We have coming up on the big show, Ann Firestone of Greyhound Pets of America. Mike Chuddy will be talking about tires. We also have the rock group Secret, and as if that's not enough, we're over here at Riverdale Lanes in West Springfield watching people bowl. But let's get the show underway. Yes, it's Scott Ellis from his latest album. Wait a minute. Mark, we're supposed to have the album here somewhere. Well, you people know what an album looks like. Here's Scott Ellis to sing I Believe in You.
When I'm feeling blue, I take a look around, and I find you. And you tell me that you believe in me. Oh yeah, you believe in me. When I'm asking a girl for a date, and she says, hey, alright, I'll see you at 8. I thank you, Lord, for making me the person that you did. You said, I believe in you. Yes, Lord, I believe in you. When I'm helping someone who needs, I thank you, Lord, for making me a full human being. I thank you, Lord, for making me the person that you did. You said, I believe in you. Oh yeah, well I believe in you. A girl for a date, and she says, hey, alright, I'll see you at 8. I thank you, Lord, for making me the person that you did. You said, I believe in you. Oh yeah, well I believe in you. When I'm helping someone who needs, thank you, Lord, for making me a full human being. Thank you, Lord, for making me the person that you did. You said I so should you. Well, I believe in you. And no, I believe in you too. Oh yeah, well, I believe in me.
Yes, that was Scott Ellis, and I Believe in You. And we'll be back with Ann Firestone right after this.
So you're a senior this year, getting ready for college.
Uh-huh.
Sports too.
Uh-huh.
Studies, sports, and a job.
Uh-huh.
I guess you have to pay for your car.
I can handle it.
Uh-huh. A student's most important job is getting a good education.
Hi, and welcome back to Primetime. Well, have you ever been up to the dog track and wondered what happens to these nice animals once they're retired from the sport of greyhound racing? Well, our next guest is going to explain all of that to us. Please welcome to Primetime, Ann Firestone. Well, Ann, welcome to Primetime, and I see what happens to greyhounds
Hi,
when
thank
they
you.
retire from the sport of racing.
Taking their retirement pretty seriously, as you can see.
They seem to enjoy retirement.
Yeah, they do.
Probably more than most people.
Yep. This is what they seem to enjoy best.
And how did you first get involved in greyhounds and the adoption process?
I work in an animal hospital, and the people who were doing this before I started doing it brought the dogs from the track there to be checked up and get heartworm checks and once over before they placed them in homes. And I've worked with animals for 14 years, and I'd never seen greyhounds before, and I was just instantly won over by their gentle personalities. They're very calm, sweet dogs. And I
They
had to do
certainly
something
are,
to
yeah.
help, so I volunteered.
And do you place many dogs in many different homes?
Yes, we do. We place them all over the place. We placed quite a few, actually. We've been averaging 2 a week for a while, too.
2 a week?
Yeah, which is very good.
Do you and your organization place all of the retired greyhounds or just some of them?
Unfortunately, only some of them. The trainers let us know which ones they think would make the best pets. And we pick from those, and we still have to narrow it down a little more because we can only take the amount of dogs we have homes lined up for.
And what has their past life been like at the racetrack with all the training and everything that goes with it?
Well, it's a much different life than it is as a house pet, for sure. They're on a very strict routine, which helps them when they do become pets. And they're treated differently than you and I would treat an animal, but I don't think they're abused, really. They're not mistreated. It's just a lot different. There's not the time for them to get the attention that they need because there's so many of them in a kennel.
And they certainly look like they need attention. I mean,
Yes.
they seem so docile. And
They thrive on this.
And why would someone want to own a greyhound over another breed of dog?
I think their quiet, gentle nature is what does it for most people. As you can see, they're pretty relaxed a lot of the time. They're real playful when you want them to be. When you're outside with them running around, they're right there with you.
So they're active when you want them to be, but yet around the house,
They're
you'd never know they're there.
right. They're a very quiet house pet. A very nice,
So
gentle
basically
dog.
the perfect pet.
I think so.
And I see you have a menagerie of other animals around here. How do they get along with other pets?
They get along fine. These dogs get along fine with all our other pets. We foster the dogs when they come from the racetrack in a home. If we're going to place a dog in a home that has cats, for example, we'll foster the dog first in a foster home with cats so we can see. Some of them do better than others with cats, but most of them can be broken of the habit of chasing cats, is which some of them
I mean, do they ever mistake the cat for one of the rabbit lures that they're used to at the track?
Oh, yeah. But
It's happened once in a while.
yes, but we try to make sure that it happens in a set-up situation so it doesn't happen once they're placed in pet homes.
Otherwise, it's not too pleasant for the cat.
Right.
Now, you mentioned they thrive on attention, but does someone always have to be at home?
No. They're just like any other dog after a while. When they come from the track, they've been with 60 other dogs all day long. They've never been left alone. So it's something they've got to get used to.
And what's the longest length of time that you could leave them alone?
I say an average work day is okay, is no problem. We often recommend people use crates to facilitate the training the dog to be in a new space by itself.
But when they want attention,
You can let them out for that.
they'll find you.
Yes, and these are dogs that have never been in a house before, so they don't know that when the owner leaves, you don't chew the woodwork in a panic, or you don't, howl at the door till they come home. So the crate helps that too.
And is it difficult to housebreak a greyhound?
No, surprisingly not. They're not housebroken, but they get into routine so easily, and they've been on a real strict routine at the track from going out. And so
Through their
if
training.
Right, and if you can make a routine that the dogs can follow with no problem, they do real well. Some of them are even housebroken by the time we place them in their homes.
Now, they are in-house dogs. You can't leave them outside,
Definitely.
especially in these cold New England winter nights.
That's right. See the look you're getting from her? They don't have much of a coat here, and they need protection. They can't stay outside. They're comfortable where you're comfortable. If we can go out and stay out for a little while, they're fine.
So
out
in the
for a
winter,
little
you could
while.
take them out and exercise
Oh,
them.
definitely, yep. They
But-
like playing in the snow, too. She comes cross-country skiing with me. They're right.
But they're kind of like me. They don't like to stay out for any
That's
great
right.
length of time.
That's right. And they're also, another reason they can't stay out unattended is because they're sight hounds. And they're a breed of dog that has been bred over the years to hunt by sight. Like a beagle follows its nose, these dogs follow their eyes. So it's not like a golden retriever where you can put out in the yard and expect it to lie there all day. If something, a squirrel or whatnot, goes zooming by, these dogs are likely to
Follow.
follow. And they don't know about cars. Cars aren't part of the racetrack scene, so
No,
they don't
no.
have any knowledge of that. So it's just setting them up in an unfair situation to leave them out unattended.
So you could leave them out unattended, but if it were in a fenced-in area
Yes,
only.
yes, we love the fenced-in area families. That's the best situation for these dogs.
And do they require a lot of exercise?
No, not really. Not more than an average dog. I'd say 3 half-hour walks a week are adequate. They do like to go out and kick out the jams when they can and run around in a field with other dogs especially.
But if not, they're perfectly content to stay here and
yes,
relax.
yes, couch potatoes we call them, as you can see.
But they're
why.
not overweight for couch potatoes.
No, they seem to keep their trim shape pretty easily.
And as I've read, it is important whenever the greyhounds are out and about in the city life to keep them on a leash.
Yes, it is important that they be on a leash most of the time if they're not in a fenced-in yard.
And when you're walking your greyhound, do you find all that tugging and pulling?
No, not really.
Because they are large animals.
They're large, but they're very docile, and they really are
So
just
they'll
content
just-
to be by your side.
They'll
to
just
be with
walk
you.
right alongside of you.
Yeah, there's an occasional dog, a young, exuberant dog that's going to pull for a while, but
So if you're into walking or jogging,
Oh.
they'll keep up the pace.
yes, they're great for that.
And
Good jogging companion.
I've seen a few people bicycle riding with greyhounds.
Yeah, that takes a little work to get them used to that, but it's definitely their speed.
Now, does your group lend support to other greyhound owners? Do you keep in touch with other greyhound owners?
Yes, we do. We often get together as a group. There are a lot of apple orchards around here that let us use their orchards to run the dogs, which is great.
So as long as they're wide open spaces.
Yep, and they're fenced in. The orchards are fenced in to keep deer out, so they're ideal. The dogs can go as far as they feel they can and still be confined.
Now, if some of our viewers were interested in adopting one of these greyhounds, this guy's sleeping.
Yeah,
maybe,
really.
maybe we're boring him. Or
Looks like
her.
we might be. She's out.
If some of our viewers would be interested in adopting a greyhound, what is the procedure?
They can call or write to me at Greyhound Pets of America.
And you are Ann Firestone.
Yes, I am Ann Firestone at Box 6024, Keene, New Hampshire, 03431. And I'll send out some information and an application for adoption.
And your phone number?
Is 603-835-2593.
And don't call any time of the day or night.
Oh, well, you'll get a message if you do.
You'll get a message either way.
Right, you'll leave a message.
But I'm sure you'll be more than happy to answer any of their
Oh,
questions.
yes, definitely.
Well, Ann, it's been a pleasure having you on Prime Time, and thank you for having us up to your home here in South Ackworth, New Hampshire.
Thank
we
you.
had to travel a bit to get here, but it was worth it and very informative.
Good, thank you very much. These dogs deserve to be known about.
And perhaps you'll hear from some potential greyhound adoptees.
I hope so.
So thanks again for being on the program. And we'll be back with more Prime Time after this.
Charles Bronson isn't happy.
Sure takes guts to vandalize parks or beat up on trees. But that's what some jerks are doing to our public lands. Only the land can't fight back. But we can. We can save our lands, you and me. Let's face it, someone who gets his kicks punching out flowers shouldn't be too much of a match for us.
Write Take Pride in America. Post Office Box 1339, Jessup, Maryland 20794.
My next guest is a retiring expert. Well, actually, you don't have to be 65 because he's not 65, but he can help you with any of your tire needs or questions. He is Mike Chuddy. Well, Mike, welcome to Primetime, the big show.
Nice to be here.
And how long have you been here?
Well, I've been in this location only a year and a half now, but I've been in the tire business on and off since 1971.
Quite a while. And how did you get into tires in the first place? What made you join the ranks of a tire person?
Well, my dad was in the business. And
he used to own a place way up in the hills.
Yeah, it was called the Plainfield Tire Barn. And he got into it sort of as a fluke. He was living up in Plainfield on a farm and with a big cow barn. And people used to come up looking for the old Plainfield Tire Barn, which had been there for years and years, since the 30s or 40s. That place closed down in 1970. People used to come up our driveway looking for the tire barn, so my dad, being the entrepreneur that he is, decided he'd fill the barn with tires and sell them. So that's how we got into it originally.
Well, what should people do when they start looking for tires? Are there certain misconceptions that people have?
Well, there is a big misconception, and that is that the federal government has graded all the tires on the market, and that you can go in and by reading the tire grades on the tire know exactly what you're getting. And unfortunately, it was a good idea, but it's not the case. The system is called the Uniform...
Like most things the government handles.
Right. The system is called the Uniform Tire Quality Grading System. And the original intention was to grade all passenger tires on the market and let people know how long they're going to wear, how good the traction is, and how they stand up to high temperature driving. What they did wrong was that they let the tire companies grade their own tires. And it's kind of like putting the fox in the hen house. They gave them a set of parameters to go by and said, go to it. And some companies are conservative and some companies are liberal, and
it's not very accurate.
No, it's not very accurate, unfortunately. You really have to go by your tire expert or the people that you know who sell tires and trust their judgment in buying a tire.
Now, I've talked to people who've told me they would never buy a C grading tire. Is there a C grade?
Well, yeah, there are in the temperature and the traction ratings, there are A, B, and C grades. A is the highest and C is the lowest. If you're checking the traction rating, you would not want to buy a C because it's well below any reasonable traction rating that you'd want on your car.
But for temperature?
But for temperature, C rating is the rating that all tires have to meet to get a Department of Transportation certification for the tire. And it's perfectly safe. It means that the tire will withstand driving temperatures normally incurred at 85 miles an hour. And we're not supposed to do 85, but a lot of us do. So C is, in that respect, is not bad. When you get into traction and you're measuring how well your car brakes on a wet road, then you want at least a B rating, and preferably an A if you can get it. The third rating is the treadwear rating, and that's a numerical rating that the government set up using a test tire and dragging that behind a car on a test track, and this test tire went 20,000 miles. So all the companies are supposed to rate the wear on their tires according to the test tire.
So they call that a 20,000 mile tire.
Right.
But that's dragging it, not driving on it.
If you drive in the Southwest around a test track,
all At a certain speed.
Right, at a constant 30 miles an hour or something like that, then you can get the mileage indicated on your treadwear rating, but most people don't do that. The ratings are just a guide, and they'll give you a general idea of how the tire is going to perform. They're best used in comparing tires in a certain brand. If you are selling one particular brand of tire and you're trying to make a choice between their top of the line or their mediocre tire or their cheap tire,
then that company would grade all of their tires equally.
This company grades their tires a certain way. They may be a conservative company and they may underrate their tires a little bit, but you'll get an idea in those three tires how
much more you're going to get for your money.
Right, but you can't take one tire brand and compare it to another tire brand, because one company underrates their tires, one company overrates their tires.
So one company could have a rating that would be under the other tire, but yet outlast and outperform.
Oh yeah, you see it all the
company.
time. We sell a tire that is rated for 50,000 miles and it lasts for 35,000 miles. And we sell another tire that's rated for 36,000 miles and it goes 60,000 miles. So you really have to go by.
And it helps if the person selling the tire really knows their product.
Yeah, it's nice to go into a tire place and have the guy, having been in the business a number of years, and he's been through the mill. He knows what radials were like when they first came out, and he's seen all the different stages in radial tire development, and he knows what you're going to get. And you just tell him what kind of driving you do. He'll probably ask you, and that way he can steer you the right way.
Now, how about the different tread designs, Mike? I mean, there are all-season tires, we have snow tires, we have summer tires. What should people look for?
Well, the big thing nowadays is all-season tires. They came out with all-season tires back in the late 70s, and the tire was designed to be a reasonable mix between a snow tire and a summer tread tire, and give the best parts of both.
Is there really a need for snow tires, or would a good all-season tire take the place of a snow tire?
Again, it depends on where you're driving and what kind of car you have, and the tire dealer will want to know that before he sells you the tires. If you're doing mostly city driving and you have a front-wheel drive car, you're driving on roads that have been plowed already, an all-season tire is going to get you through the winter just fine, and then you don't have to go through the bi-yearly tire changeover. If you live in the hill towns like I do and you drive a rear-wheel drive car, you're going to want snow tires. When you're going home and they haven't plowed the roads yet and there's 3 or 4 inches of snow on the road, you need all you can get to get home.
Do they have snow tires for front-wheel drive cars?
Yes, they do. And some people want snow tires for their front-wheel drive cars. They generally buy them in sets of 4 so they can have equal traction all the way around the car, just as if they had all-season tires all the way around the car. But most people buy all-season tires. They're convenient. They get you around where you have to go.
It's the best of both worlds.
It is the best of both worlds, and it eliminates that twice a year coming in to see your tire dealer, which nobody likes to do anyway.
Well, Mike, this has certainly been interesting, and we are about out of time here. We're running a bit late in the show today, and we will have to stop back and talk to you a little bit more about tires. I'm sure there's a lot more information out there that you can tell us about.
George, I'd be happy to have you stop by anytime you want. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Okay, pleasure, Mike. We'll be back with more Prime Time right after this. Stay with us.
I'm David Hasselhoff with a word about an explosive combination: medications, alcohol, and driving. Prescription and non-prescription drugs can seriously affect your ability to drive safely, especially if you drink alcohol. If you're not sure whether it's safe to drive or drink while taking your particular medication, ask your doctor or pharmacist. Medicines are there to help you, but combining them with alcohol and driving can make a time bomb that can kill. A safety reminder from the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
Welcome back to Primetime. We're here at Riverdale Lanes in West Springfield. Yes, we're watching people bowl. But right now, here to perform Johnny Be Good is Secret. Yes, that was Secret and Johnny Be Good, and I'm here with a couple of upcoming pro bowlers. And who do we have here?
Matt Harrington.
You're Matt and
Mike.
Mike. Matt and Mike. And do you bowl every week?
No.
You don't? Is this your first time?
No, not first.
Well, how often do you bowl?
About once every month. I don't know.
Once every month. Are you any good?
No.
Are you getting better?
Yeah, I'm getting better.
You're getting a little bit. And is he your teacher then?
No, I'm worse than him.
You're worse than him?
Yeah. I just bowled a 63 and a 73.
But you have fun?
Yeah.
Are you from the local area here?
Yeah, we're from Agawam.
Is it hard?
No.
Or it's easy? In other words, you just throw the ball down the middle and...
Yeah, throw the ball down the middle and knock all the pins down.
Well, if it's that easy, why aren't you any good?
I don't know.
Well, that about wraps it up, and I'd like to thank all my guests, and thank you for watching, and do join us again next time on Primetime. Good night, everybody.